And look at the fucking psychos, dude. Twitch has a dark history too. Brother, Twitch, YouTube, these are mass platforms, okay? Owned by major conglomerates. And they've been around for decades. There have been mass shootings that have taken place on Twitch, like someone has live streamed it. These guys immediately clamp on it. They have an entire moderation team dedicated in real time to fucking handle stuff like this. Okay?
Do wish you well on Kick. I really do.
Thank
because
you.
I want
I
a
appreciate
competitor.
that.
I want a competitor to Twitch because I think that would
Thank
make
you.
the platforms overall
Yes.
better. But make no mistake, ironically, you started off talking about how you hated how much titty streamers or fucking hot tub streamers and the
Yep.
meta was awful. And now you got porn on your platform. Now you got one of your main
Right.
fucking main poster boys at Kick showing porn to
I
mine.
don't think Kick loves this shit personally either, for the record. They don't like that this is the only thing that their platform is known for. They want to use the platform as like a casino. And that's the entertainment component that's bringing in people into the casino. You don't want your casino online to be known as the casino where people are getting tortured to death for entertainment purposes. Okay? And look at the fucking psychos, dude. Twitch has a dark history too. Brother, Twitch, YouTube, these are mass platforms, okay? Owned by major conglomerates. And they've been around for decades. There have been mass shootings that have taken place on Twitch, like someone has live streamed it. These guys immediately clamp on it. They have an entire moderation team dedicated in real time to fucking handle stuff like this. Okay? As opposed to a dude who did a 10-day snuff film, like a bunch of content creators on the platform who did a 10-day snuff film that ended up with the dude that they were torturing dying. Like, this is endless cope to be like, oh, Twitch does this too, or YouTube does this too. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking sit here and act like there isn't fuck shit on this platform too. Certainly there is. But at least like this platform and all the other platforms like try to actively mitigate the harm. Whereas Kick very clearly does not implement this harm mitigation at all. They do not give a fuck about moderation. Years ago, when Kick was first starting out, I said, great, competition is not a bad thing. And I told straight up to Train, to his face, if you don't actively pursue moderation on this platform that you are an advisor of, it is going to turn into open season, a shithole filled to the brim with pedophile Nazis. And that's precisely what happened. Lo and behold, that is exactly what happened. Of course, Train and all the Kick enjoyers and all the content creators that went there never let me fucking forget, never let me forget that warning. I did. I warned him. I directly warned him straight to his fucking face. I said, listen, this is what's going to happen. I know this shit. I know what happens when there's no moderation. Kick and new Twitter has basically busted the brains of so many young kids that get a lot of content from that side. I'm sure someone has the clip of me saying straight to Train's face, like, this is going to be fucked up. And in this day and age, clearly, there's increasingly less interest in moderation, and people basically just like wear it on their fucking sleeves. This kind of like horrifying nonsense. Like people are literally vice signaling. How do you recognize that you are part of the problem? How do I recognize that I'm part of the problem? You think I'm part of the... Explain to me what you mean by this. At most, you can say like, I saw the warning signs ahead of time about crypto casino gambling on the platform and wanted changes to be made. And then Twitch banned stake.com. So then Stake went back to Twitch and went to AWS and got their own website called Kick. I'm not saying you're the problem, but we all are. Okay, what is this fucking vague generalization? What do you mean we're all the problem? The fuck? You don't multi-stream on Kick? No, fuck no. Oh. You not hearing him. Yeah, he's spitting. Here's the clip of you talking about kick train, and it's a literal fucking poop sock. Take an hour off. Or day off, not an hour. Aiden Ross and Drake are currently doing PR for Kick after this, funding Jean's burial or some shit is wild. Yeah. And it for a lot of dummies, I think, for a lot of dummies, that's enough. You know, they will take that and be like, what do you mean? They're trying their best. The moderation comment, I think.
Totally, dude. Totally. Exactly. Also, on top of that,
Violence, a shocking story out of France as an actual Black Mirror episode come to life. Streamer Jean Pormanov, real name Raphael Graven, died last night live on Kick. For years, his so-called friends humiliated him on camera with beatings, bullying, insults, all for donations. On Monday night, after 10 days of nonstop streaming, I'm not going to show you the footage. I don't know what they will actually show. On Monday night, after 10 days of nonstop streaming, 46-year-old Jean fell asleep on camera and never woke up. Viewers watched as his body was shaken by his companions, who only realized minutes later he was gone. A live video now widely shared reportedly shows him inanimate under a duvet with two men nearby, one tossing a small plastic water bottle at him. Those 10 days weren't just harmless gaming or chatting. They were 10 days and nights of humiliation, extreme physical violence, sleep deprivation, even being made to swallow toxic products, all live and fully monetized for donations. The channel behind this is called Le Local, run by streamers known as Naruto V and Safine. Mediapart exposed them last year for live humiliation and violence for audience shares. They were detained, then released, and the channel kept going. There's a clip from weeks ago that is especially haunting. His friends laugh about what could happen if he died live. One insists he should stay on camera, that if he ever dies, it'll be because of his health, not them. Under pressure, Jean said it. Some people are now arguing he was a consenting adult, fully aware of what he signed up for. But in reality, in a message to his mother, Jean wrote, "It's going too far. I feel like I'm being sequestered with their shitty concept." Jean, a fragile man in his 40s who spent much of his life streaming alone from his parents' house, wanted community and to belong. Instead, he ended up surrounded by people who made him the punchline. After falling in with his new group, he moved in. Streaming became his whole life. On camera, his friends kept reminding him how they had rescued him, how he owed everything to them. Clips show them mocking his past, saying he never had friends, never had love. They call him disabled, beat him, even strangled him.
So maybe you now recognize the importance of moderation, especially as it pertains to an overall platform.
Wait.
I've said it before. I've said it in different versions as well. Like, this isn't exactly what I was thinking of, but this is one of the moments where I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you need moderation. Also, both of these guys are now on Kick. I said it in Japan too. Update. Naruto's lawyer says the shocking videos are just stagings with Jean Pormanove denying his client is a torturer. He calls them best friends, blames cyberbullying campaign, and plans legal action. Reminder, Naruto and Safine were already investigated by the police in Nice last January. Trigger warning. And all of it was played for laughs, with viewers sending money to keep the abuse going. Other streamers saw it coming. Ava Mind said months ago, this channel should have never been public. Both for the damage it did to viewers and the way Jean himself clearly wasn't in control after his death. She said, it pisses me off to have been right. Arkunir, one of France's biggest streamers, wrote, I have rarely been so shocked, frightening that such content could continue for years without anyone intervening. Whether it is the disgusting shit or on the videos or Kick, I hope they all pay. Meanwhile, the man behind Le Local are now posting tributes, calling Jean their brother and asking people not to share the footage of his death. One wrote, no one knows, but everyone talks. We loved each other. That's all that matters. France's digital minister Clara Chapaz called the case an absolute horror, announced a judicial investigation, and says she contacted Kick directly. But Mediapart says the government was warned months ago. Back then, Kick simply wasn't a priority. Kick, the Australian streaming site, said it couldn't comment due to privacy rules. Their terms ban heinous violence, but moderation is looser than Twitch. In the end, someone died on their platform, sparking a national debate in France on social media responsibility. And the community literally laughed when he died on stream, being like, oopsie, no more content. He's dead, lol. Fucking monsters. You're a grown man. It feels like too much pressure to get up and leave. Everyone's a victim. Lol, now I'll speak how I feel, bud. Dude, you're talking about a dude who had like major disabilities and was lonely. He's like 46 years old. These people clearly took advantage of him. What the fuck's wrong with you? They tortured him and then he died. Jesus Christ. Dude, there's always a special type of person who will just like endlessly find ways to victim blame, no matter how heinous the situation is. They were also his landlord, chatter. Yeah, exactly. Like they literally were providing him housing too. Like they were exploiting him. I don't know, man. It's just like, fuck. I don't know. I don't know what compels someone to be that much of a piece of shit. I don't know what compels someone to be that much of a piece of shit in this circumstance when they're analyzing a situation that they're not even remotely involved in, where they immediately find a way to fucking. No, I understand why those guys could do it because they're fucking evil, okay? And they wanted to make money and they didn't care about the humanity of the person that they were like torturing. I'm saying, why the fuck are you, a random ass dude on the internet, literally turning around and being like, nah, he was asking for it? Like, what the fuck? You're not even making money off of it. Like, there's not even a financial incentive for you to fucking defend this kind of thing. Like, how the fuck? Like, what do you gain in that situation? You know what I mean? You just see evil being conducted and you go, I'm on the side of evil. I guess it's like, it's the same principle behind people who like entertain lolcowing people, right? Which is just like stalking and harassment of a person who oftentimes has the exact same kind of disability that they have online. You know, it's just like everything that they hate about themselves that they want to attack and destroy. It's a lot of fucking shut-ins who engage in this kind of thing, and they have like crippling disabilities that render them unable to go outside. So they spend every fucking waking moment online literally targeting people with similar kinds of disabilities online and make it their life's mission to ruin their lives, right? It's just misery loving company. Oh. What's so crazy about it is like if they weren't, if the audiences weren't entertaining shit like this, they would probably make something of themselves. But the more they entertain shit like this and the more they find a sense of community in this shared misery, actively trying to harm other people, the more sedentary they become, you know, the more awful they become for consuming this kind of content.
Shone a light on the channel last December. They were briefly taken into custody in January, but after both Pormanov and Kudu refused to undergo medical or psychiatric...
I'm a lonely person, man. This goes beyond that. No, there are plenty of lonely people. There's plenty of lonely people in this community, okay? There's a difference, though. You're not entertaining that shit. You're not letting your own personal problems turn into like other people's issues. You're not like, I'm in a fucking shitty situation, so I'm going to make sure that I find a sense of community with other people in similar shitty situations, and we actively fucking gang stalk people online and try to ruin their goddamn lives. You know? A lot of people are lonely. A lot of people go through horrible straits in their lives. They don't just like make it everybody else's problem. That's the point. Like,
psychiatric evaluations and told investigators they were participating freely in an enterprise Portmanov said was making him up to €6,000 a month. The streams continued on the platform Kick.
The platform Kick has a reputation as a bit of a Wild West and also an El Dorado for streamers who no longer have a place on other platforms.
Kick posted to X that they were deeply saddened by Portmanov's death, promising to cooperate fully with the authorities and undertake a full overhaul of their French-language content, also banning the rest of the Local group from the platform pending the results of the investigation.
An investigation has been launched after a French streamer died taking part in a live broadcast on the online platform Kick. Oliver's here with all of the details. Oliver, what can you tell us?
This is a really shocking case, Wilf, where 46-year-old Raphael Gravin, also known as Jean Portmanov to his online followers, he had 600,000 followers on the likes of TikTok, also a big audience on the video streaming site Kick, and it was there where he was reportedly taking part in a 10-day marathon live video when he died in his sleep near Nice on Sunday night. Now, viewers were concerned when he was unresponsive. He didn't answer any of their messages. And according to Le Monde newspaper, it appears that quite often in these videos that he was part of, he was subjected to violence and he was often humiliated. On one part of this live stream, apparently he had water thrown on him as he was lying down on a mattress. Now, Clara Chapaz, who is the French digital technology minister, says that it appears he'd been abused for months and that an investigation has been launched. We've had a statement from Kick which says, "We are deeply saddened by the loss of Jean Portmanov and extend our condolences to his family, friends and community. We are urgently reviewing the circumstances and engaging with relevant stakeholders to investigate the situation." This statement goes on to say, "Kick's community guidelines are designed to protect creators and we remain committed to upholding those standards across the platform." But it's clear that French ministers are really wanting to hold Kick to account here. They believe that the platform should be held responsible for the content that is on its site.
So he had water thrown on him.
I'm being honest, like, I just don't think that they're ever, like, when we say, like, oh, what will it take? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it will take for Kick to actually self-moderate. Because, like, it's clear that countries, even like the EU nations, who normally have like at least some sense and more regulatory control, would, under normal situations, like under normal circumstances, take action against stuff like this, right? But nowadays, I feel like that's long gone. Even European countries don't do this anymore. They got to lose money. That's all they care about. They're never going to lose money. The entire platform is losing money all the time. It's not designed to make money. It's designed to be somewhat self-sustaining, but mostly just as a tool to market the cryptocurrency casino that powers it. Like, for example, Stake is a crypto casino. It tried to do ads on Formula One and numerous other competitions, and they were told no. But they can do it for Kick because Kick can present itself as the entertainment function of the casino and not directly the casino itself. It's not about making money for them. It's just a sole advertiser for their casino. And also a way to basically do some kind of like reputation laundering for the cryptocurrency casino without it being directly a cryptocurrency casino ad. Fizz made a good point. In my opinion, this is the logical endpoint of all lolcowing. It usually doesn't get this far due to moderation and guidelines, but Kick has none, and therefore it enables it to reach this natural conclusion. Yeah. This is what happens when you systematize and turn it into content. Because this is the impact of lol cowing online, but it's usually relegated to the darkest circles of the internet. You know what I mean? This used to be something that people do in like anonymous forums that they have to fucking use VPNs to tune into. But now you're just doing it in broad daylight on a fucking visible platform to an audience that demands more of it. Is basically, you know, Live Leak and fucking Kiwi Farms, but on steroids. And if left unchecked, from my experience, and I can draw a parallel here to what Twitter turning into the Nazi shithole it has become has done to every other platform, and what TikTok has done to like red pill incel terminology and basically made it popular and added into the regular lexicon of normies. If left unchecked, this is going to become a thing that everybody does. More and more people do. Content creators are like, they're bots. They're NPCs. They rely on trends, okay? They're not creative enough on their own to come up with like unique ideas. So they'll see something going popular, and if they're depraved enough, they will do it as well. Look at the distribution of CSAM that happened on Kick. One content creator took it upon himself to do these like Riz videos on Omegle or whatever, one of those like fucking websites, random websites, and he started getting nudes from minors, okay? And when that became a meta on the platform Kick, more people started doing it because content creators saw that and were like, oh, this is sick. Like, you can make money off this. You can get clout off this. That is how it goes. That is before this incident, by the way. A year before this incident. And then it became a regular thing. And there's more to it than just that. There's like Nazis on there. Again, that's how Nazis also became the meta as well. Being a Nazi became the meta. Being like a gross racist became the meta. You would just say shit. You would just fucking say the most heinous shit and be rewarded for it. And then other content creators who don't have any fucking functioning brain cells would repeat that because they're like, oh, well, this, I don't give a shit. What about I don't give a shit about the repercussions. Okay. Yes, Something About Chickens did a 2-part series on the distribution of CSAM on Kick. Sequencing and serializing and turning it into content for a bunch of content creators who saw one guy doing it and they all did it as well. It even goes, I mean, the same thing is happening with right-wing commentary in general. Okay? That's what it is. Monkey see, monkey do. Other content creators see people like Asmongold popping off, fucking making like Nick Fuentes jokes or pointing to like anti-Semitic memes and shit. Maybe they don't see all of it, but they see most of the stuff that he's saying about like trans people, undocumented migrants. And then they go, well, this guy's popping saying this shit. I'm going to do it too. Greatest example of this is XQC. XQC has no fucking worldview. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. But he saw how much Asmongold was gaining prominence by doing this shit. So he tried to do it as well. And then his audience fucking yelled at him every goddamn day. And then he had to basically back away from it a little bit. He still tries it to his best ability. But that's it. There are a lot of people who don't. Over under 3 months, Asmon won't go into Kick. He already did, brother. What are you talking about? He already is a Kick streamer. He went to Kick. He went to Kick months ago. He's already there. And now you got Mr. Beast going there too. It's just so fucked. Because that kind of stuff just has like like people just don't want to see their own responsibility at all. They just they don't realize that they're playing a role in like normalizing this fucking abhorrent behavior. They don't want to think about their responsibility. They don't want to think about the role that they're playing. They just think about the bag.
Yeah.
So by someone he was in partnership with?
It appears that he usually creates videos with 2 other video content creators. Some of the videos that I've seen online, it's silly videos where they're slapping each other, they're having fights. It's not clear whether this was something consensual that he took part in or whether this was an escalation in this sort of extreme videos that they were taking part in. But it's very, very unusual set of circumstances.
Entertainment or ritual online humiliation? French content creator Raphael Gravin was known for his video stunts, like taking on these attack dogs. But other clips show the 46-year-old being doused in water, shot with paintballs, and apparently even being strangled.
I'm so happy Kai Cenat held the line and denied them early on. Yeah, I mean, Speed too is so funny. Kai and Speed got the bag from Rumble, and then they never really fucking streamed there too. They were like, Rumble was so desperate for clout that they just gave him a fat bag, and they streamed one time on that platform and then never again. And look where they're at in their careers. They could have taken the kick bag. They could have. Let's not give Kai too much credit. Yeah, sure, but like on that front, he was smart enough and had surrounded himself with smart enough people that knew better, that like that was a major problem. What's also crazy about the Kai situation is that all the kick streamers fucking hate his ass now, because he literally said, I don't want to stream with Aiden Ross because they spam like, monkeys in the chat every time I'm on camera. Yeah, dude, they're like, what do you mean? That's the most normal thing on the planet. Like, that's the most normal thing for a black content creator to be like, I don't want to be a part of this. It's racist as fuck. And they hate him for it. They literally hate him for it. They're like, oh, how dare you? Why the fuck would he want to be a part of that? It's crazy. Drake is promoting ED pills. We're in dark times. I think that's because he must have like a crippling gambling addiction or something.
I got your back online. I said respectfully, in real life, I got you, bro. But when it comes to this content shit, I'm not in the mental state to be in front of your niggas. As soon as a nigga of color hop onto the stream, it's straight watermelon and gorillas, nigga. I'll watch.
I just wish he didn't say that, though. I really wish he didn't say that as soon as there's somebody with color on your stream. We don't have to make this about race at all.
Brother, come to Dagestan, brother. 1-2 year, we make wrestler out of you, brother. What the fuck? This is such a stupid statement. I turn into a Dagestani. You can't, this is such weirdo behavior. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, you got a black dude being like, hey man, it's really fucked up that your community is insanely racist whenever there's someone of color on your stream. And he's like, why you got to make this racism about race, man? Oh my God.
We don't have to make this about race at all. Like, there's no reason to do that at all. I get what he's saying. Like, when there's somebody with color on their stream, they spam monkey and watermelons and stuff. When there's a Jew on stream, they'll spam the craziest shit in my chat. When there's a Mexican,
Bro, what? His response is, let me tell you all the other groups that they're racist towards as well. Hey, yo, man. Dude, how echo chamber do you gotta be to think this is a good line? This is bars, man. He's spitting. Yeah. You don't understand, bro. We're not just racist towards black people. We fucking hate the Jews as well. Aiden Ross is Jewish, for those of you who don't know.
Alaskan on stream, they'll spam shit on my chat. When there's a Chinese person on stream, they'll spam my shit on my chat.
Oh, Chinese people too. God, okay.
It's not just one specific race, guys. It's every fucking race.
Bro, if you ever need something.
Oh, I didn't realize it was worse than I thought it was. Why would that be inviting? Why would this be welcoming? What the fuck? I'll bet there's one race that doesn't get spams. Oh. Yeah. Well, because that doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like anti-white racism doesn't hit the same. And anyone who will try to sincerely engage you with that argument is a silly person, okay? It just doesn't work that way. Andre's irrelevant tweet about anti-Semitism on Kick. Yeah. After Ethan said he is announcing that he may begin streaming on Kick. Remember that Kick allowed anti-Semitic imagery as official channel emotes on Aiden's channel. Back at getting banned for cracker is even more crazy now? Oh, yes. I mean, you know Kai, right? Why does he allow himself to believe someone like Aiden is his friend, is actually his friend IRL? I don't fucking know Kai like that. What are you, crazy? No, I don't. Like, I've collabed with him in the past, like when he was first coming up. He is far too much of a household brand for me to actively be around him like that. I don't fucking know. All streamers are best friends. Yeah, Kai knows Aiden a lot better than he knows who the fuck I am. You and Agent collab with Hit? Yeah, I love Agent. Agent is great. Chris is great. I don't really know the other dudes on AMP that well. Oh, Phantom also. I love Phantom. Yeah, we love Agent. He's been on the Fear Ant podcast. Yeah, Chatter Kai has Nike shoes, bro. He's not cool like that with us on. Yeah. Like I said, he's too much of a brand. Okay, let's be real. I'm gonna work on something with Phantom too. I've been talking to him. This was XC's racist drawing and Aiden's racist prompt when playing Gartic phone. I don't care about that. Come on, man. It's just, who cares? They literally just showed off putting Kai in Fortnite. Yeah. He used to beg to be on Aiden's stream, and Aiden is the main reason why Kai dramatically grew. He feels like he don't need him anymore, so now he wants to manipulate to try to slander Aiden. Big fucking L. Okay. Two things can be true at the same time. Like, Aiden could have played a formative role in Kai's like popularity, but also Aiden himself literally is not the same Aiden from, I don't know, fucking 4 years ago. Why do these people think that he owes them something still? Like, he has to sit there and go through like ritualistic humiliation. What the fuck? It's so crazy. It's like, nah, you just have to sit there and be tight. You have to sit there and be tight with a dude who's like hanging out with Nazis and shit. Yeah, also, you can go back to like, I mean, you can go back to Bronny. Bronny was responsible for Aiden's career taking off, you know, and Bronny doesn't fuck with Aiden anymore either. So, you know. It's just like people lack object permanence, I think. Where they personally think that like people stay the same forever or something. Like there was a good long moment. There was a long period of time where Aiden was just like kind of funny. You know, he was. I mean, he still is kind of funny. Like when he was asking Donald Trump to deport me, like that's pretty funny. He has his moments still, but it's like it went from like him being funny because he's kind of dumb to him being him going from like relatively harmless, haha, funny because he's kind of dumb but like well intentioned for the most part, to him being like a horrible monster. That's it. A lot of these people think growth equals self-censorship, which equals First Amendment violation, obviously. Yeah, no, that is definitely, I mean, there is truth to that, for the record. There is truth to that. Brands have kept a lot of these motherfuckers in check. 100%, okay? I think a lot of people have shown their true colors in this new age of Donald Trump, where they're just like, oh, hell yeah, we have the freedom to be as vicious as we want to be. And I don't think like a lot of people look at that and go, this is great. I'm glad that you're an incredibly toxic person. I really like that. There are plenty of people who like that for sure, and I'm certain that there are people who also go along with it because they think that's the cool thing. Like a lot of young impressionable people that probably think like this is cool. This is the way to be funny. And it's most likely melting the minds of so many young people all around the world. Having said that, however, it's just, it's totally fucked up that if it wasn't for like fear of cancellation, a lot of these guys aren't like, I guess, personally invested in being good people. Where, you know, it was just like the bag that was stopping them from behaving like repulsive little monsters. And now that there is a bag out there to let your freak flag fly, plenty of people are taking that opportunity to do just that. Terrible. Terrible circumstance. This is sort of the same as saying we need religion to not kill people or behave. Wait, what? No, I'm not saying that. First of all, a lot of those dudes literally act as though they are religious. For the record. I don't think that like any I don't think that any it shouldn't be outside forces that are like preventing these people from behaving like little monsters. It should be their own morality. But I digress. In the absence of that happening on its own, I'm fine with any sort of external pressure that stops these people from actively recruiting more young people who are malleable, who are impressionable into behaving like this because they think it's the cool way to behave. Zero gaming again, typical liar. I didn't say I was going to game today. I don't know where you guys got that information from. Okay. Yeah, Niall Strange post, the political and media discourse in the U.S. over Palestine is framed in a way that is so disconnected from public sentiment. Is Israel committing a genocide against Palestinian civilians? Yes, 43%. No, 28%. America's under 30. Yes, 55%. No, 21%. I mean, those numbers should even be higher. And I think how low those numbers are clearly indicate that people are still duped. Because you're asking people not their opinion necessarily, but like you're asking people about a truth, whether they recognize a truth or not. That's what's so crazy. In most TV news and panels discussing the Mideast, both cable and broadcast news, every commentator is either pro-Israel or neutral. Very rarely do you see pro-Palestine voice on TV, and even rarer, a Palestinian. New York Times had a front page news story authored by a former Israeli intelligence officer without any journalism experience. It turned out to be full of fabrications, but you can imagine the New York Times ever hiring a former Palestinian intelligence official to write for the news section? Of course not. Yeah. Oh, there's also this as well. Now confirmed that this episode led 60 Minutes to be stripped of its editorial independence and led to the selling of CBS to David Ellison, who now plans to merge the company with Barry Weiss and the Free Press. Yeah.
Same.
60 Minutes put out this video, if you guys recall, later, after the fact, months after the fact, across the now decimated Gaza Strip, America's markers everywhere. In the footage shot by CBS News in May, the ground is littered with U.S.-made ammunition casings. Some used to prop up tents, others turned into playthings by children. Here is the report. Shari Redstone hoped Trump's 60 Minutes suit would root out anti-Israel bias at CBS News, and she sold Paramount partly over October 7. Redstone told The Times that for years she had resisted entreaties from potential suitors eager to buy Paramount. What pushed her finally to agree to sell the family business was the October 7th massacre of an estimated 1,200 Israelis. Now, let me tell you something. Why is there this much fucking power in the hands of one person? Why are we at the mercy of a bunch of freak-ass billionaires, bro? Like, that's so crazy to me. There should be some kind of safeguard against this. You know what I mean? But of course, because this kind of power accumulation is a normal part of capitalism, that you got a bunch of oligarchs who could just be insane. You know? You could have an oligarch who's like, sorry, dog, I saw October 7, am Israel high, sucks to suck. Anyone that ever criticizes Israel going forward is done. And I'm going to tank this fucking entire media institution because they're not sufficiently pro-Israel. That is crazy. That is a crazy thing. They should not have this kind of power. A billionaire should not be able to single-handedly decide that one of the increasingly small sliver of media giants is now going to merge and become more pro-Israel than they already were. That's crazy. That's crazy. Once that happened, I wanted out, she told The Times. I wanted to support Israel and address the issues around anti-Semitism and racism. She told The Times that her breaking point came just before she withdrew from settlement talks with Trump in January this year. CBS aired a 60-minute segment featuring State Department officials who quit over American support for Israel's Gaza war, a piece the American Jewish Committee blasted as shockingly one-sided, lacked factual accuracy, and relied heavily on misguided information. Redstone wasn't alone in her concerns. Days after the segment aired, George Cheeks, who oversees CBS, shared Redstone's dismay about the Gaza episode. Yeah, Cheeks is right. Who shared Redstone's dismay about the Gaza episode and soon appointed veteran producer Susan Zirinsky as executive editor to review 60-minute segments, stripping the show of its traditional independence from corporate interference. In April, the longtime executive producer of 60 Minutes, Bill Owens, departed after Zirinsky's appointment undermined his autonomy. It is now confirmed that the Gaza episode led to 60 Minutes being stripped of its editorial independence and led to the selling of CBS to David Ellison, who now plans to merge the company with Barry Weiss and the Free Press. Barry Weiss only has a media career because she's a fucking Israel dick rider. Okay, that's it. She was at the New York Times. She's a repulsive little monster and made an entire career talking about cancel culture and how the left is so shit, while simultaneously invoking the worst versions of cancel culture on anyone who was remotely a critic of Israel. Her Free Press outlet routinely does fucking hit pieces on me, relying on information that was compiled by the previous pedophile sex pest cult that I just showed you, sex pest in his community. Like, literally, they just straight up have like DGG points on Free Press. That's how fucking ridiculous that outlet is. And they work directly with the state of Israel. At a time when there is very little confidence in the veracity of news media, in mainstream news, these guys are, at a time when mainstream news is most necessary as a resource to speak truth to power, the fact that these guys are just like, yeah, the most unimaginable pro-Israel outlets out there, American news media, is not sufficiently fucking pro-Israel, so I'm selling it, is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, Ryan Grimm has a good take on this. Says it's not enough to get free weapons and political cover to carry out a genocide. Israel and its backers in the U.S. must also destroy any institution, no matter how long it has operated, like 60 Minutes here, that dares to moderately criticize the project once. That's why I say, like, if you think you hate Israel enough, like, you don't have enough smoke. Here's Tim Dillon.
Political fallout from this scandal, it would be monumental, and it would affect some of the wealthiest people in the world and our relationships with different countries, namely Israel. I mean, unless we're all completely wrong here and that Jeffrey Epstein was not at all connected to the Mossad. But it seems he was. It seems he was. So again, it would call into question this relationship that we've had with our, quote, greatest ally for a very long time. That can't happen. I don't care how many, Barry Weiss, whose company is, sold.
Barry has no audience. How can shareholders feel at all confident in his plan? It doesn't matter. She has power players. She has the eye of the most important audience. Their numbers are very marginal. Billionaires. Billionaires love her shit. They think she's fucking brilliant. So while CBS's numbers tank when they do this kind of insane fucking collaboration, it still won't matter because for a lot of billionaires, like, they understand something that the online liberal and the online leftists do not. The value of propaganda. Why the fuck do you think the Wilkes brothers, the oil tycoon, fossil fuel industry giants, have funded both PragerU and the Daily Wire? They know how important it is to just constantly pump out bullshit and delude people to the best of their fucking ability. So as long as they subsidize her fucking idiotic operation, okay, even if it's on CBS and it has no fucking real audience, it doesn't matter. They'll fucking try to do everything they can to create motion around her.
Now he's going to sell to CBS for $3 trillion or something. Larry Ellison's son's buying the Free Press. You know, the very important Free Press blog that is on Substack is worth $250 million.
Yes,
and I like Barry, but the the one that gets...
I don't.
It's like 7,500 views on YouTube. That powerhouse conglomerate media company is worth $250 million. By the way, so the Tim Dillon show's apparently worth $1 billion. Hello, Miriam. Where's my fucking money? $300 million, $250 million for Barry Weiss's blog, in which she interviewed megastar Ross Douthat from the New York Times about why conspiracies have taken the hold of the American mind. And Ross goes, well, the thing about conspiracies is there's an element of truth. Not in this one. There's not an element of truth. It's all truth. It's all the elements of all of the truth. It's not a kernel of truth. It's lots of kernels in a bag of popcorn.
The State Department fired a spokesman for Israel-Palestinian affairs because he drafted a statement clarifying that the United States government opposes ethnic cleansing. What a proud legacy for Marco Rubio. The State Department fired his top press officer for the Israeli-Palestinian affairs following multiple disputes over how to characterize key Trump administration policies, including a controversial plan to relocate hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip that critics consider ethnic cleansing, according to U.S. officials and documents reviewed by the Washington Post. Monday's firing occurred days after an internal debate about releasing a statement to the news media that said, "We do not support forced displacement of Palestinians in Gaza." Shahid Qureshi drafted the line, which resembled previous remarks made by Donald Trump and Middle East Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who said in February the United States would not pursue an eviction plan for Gaza. State Department leadership vetoed the move, instructing officials to cut the line marked in red and clear, according to a memo dated last week. Incredible. Incredible stuff, man. It's just so fucking repulsive, dude. We are villains, okay? This is like Google deleting "do no evil" from their company motto, you know? Actually, evil is fine, says Google. Google came out and was like, actually, we're fucking pro-evil. What do you mean, do no evil? I was wrong about that shit. What the fuck was I saying? Don't listen to me. I love evil. As a matter of fucking fact. Yeah. Do no evil, more like do evil. We took out the more. Or we took out the no. Do more evil. It's an inevitability that every single for-profit institution, unless they're like a one-off, is always going to put profits over the interests of people. That's it. There are no safeguards. The only way that you could actually democratize this process is if workers had a say. That's why you see so many people doing sit-ins and protests internally at places like Microsoft, because they're like, this is unconscionable that like Microsoft is compiling data for the Israeli government so they can use it to like create assassination targets and shit. That's it. That's it. Really fucked up. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end it here at 7 hours and 55 minutes. Another half day. Long ass stream. You already know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow. I have some very special guests coming tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next week as well. Another doctor that went to Gaza. And some other guests as well. Also, I have some travel planned as well for the People's Conference in Michigan. And we shall see. We shall see what happens. But love you all. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. And yeah, free Palestine. Peace, everybody. Love you all.
Reviewing the P.O. box, Uncle Uger's face. Sudden discord at your prop, great names take on breath.
And threatened to get him thrown out of the streets if he left. At one point, he said that he wanted to leave, but he couldn't. This was reported about in French media in early 2025, but nothing happened. They decided to do a 10-day live stream specifically to torture him. He died in his sleep 2 days ago. This is the TLDR, but I'll put the full thread down below. It's horrible. Don't look up the videos. They're horrifying. The worst part about the joke is that he looks like that because of the torture they allowed on their platform. Never use kick. In French, the minister had been warned about that man's situation long ago, but said it's not a priority. I mean, this is not Black Mirror shit, chat. It's happening in real time. How many times have we covered, like, pedophiles on Kick are unironically distributing CSAM. They are procuring and distributing CSAM, serializing this content. Like, we know this already. It is fucking insane. It's not Black Mirror. It's real life, okay? And there's not really anything you can do about it. There's just they have unlimited money and very little interest. Many kids here in France are defending his friends. That's crazy. I think the real issue here is, like, because they have unlimited money, no one wants to regulate these guys, and it's up to them to self-regulate, and they seemingly are not invested in the self-regulation because they have an endless bag. Bro, they've literally got Mr. Beast. A week before this happened, Mr. Beast openly signed on to the platform. Now you got fucking Ethan Klein, who is trying to sign on to Kick. There are always going to be people out there who don't give a fuck. Like, Mr. Beast is a Walmart figure, man. He's got fucking... He's in Walmart. Like, and he's on this platform. Very clearly, it doesn't matter. These guys want to normalize Kick. and they get unlimited bags to do so. I don't know. I just like, this is yet another instance of right but too early, in my opinion, where it's going to turn into a situation where, you know, all of the fucking animosity that that myself and many others who have been actively calling this shit out for a long time is just only getting fucking animosity from a lot of people who like that their favorite content creator is there and want to defend it regardless of the consequences. There's nothing you could do. Kick proposed these torture guys $5 million per year to do online gambling. They refused for some reason. Torture is fine, but they drew the line at gambling. I don't